You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
Sundays actually do suck.
Yeah, but I have so much to do, but it's all right. I'll make it work.
Sundays might be the worst day of the week.
Why is that?
That I had, look, this.
It's okay. Relax, Bronny. Relax, Bronny.
I know, but we just had it.
It moved. What do you want from me?
Okay, there. Don't touch it. Let
No,
it be.
I gotta.
Don't
okay.
touch it.
Stop. Sundays are nice. Sundays are great. I was out of town in LA moving Burke into his apartment. So I got back late last night and I have a lot of work I gotta get done for tomorrow. So,
But Sundays, like every other day of the week, doesn't have the vibe of a Sunday. Sundays always have the vibe of like, oh, this is the last.
no, I like my weekends. I have no issue with it. I have no issue with Sundays. Just to do the whole fucking Sunday of work, that's a little stressful.
Yeah,
But it is what it
that
is.
sucks.
What can I tell you? But we had a nice brunch. I'm glad you came up.
Yep.
Always good seeing you. We're getting your car detailed right now.
And detailed.
Detailed. I
Yeah.
said it a little weird,
Yeah,
right?
you
Yeah,
did.
I meant to say, yeah.
But that's okay.
All right, what's happening? Hi, everybody. So I'm getting a lot of people are very happy that we're back
Yeah.
doing our thing, and they love it. So that's good stuff.
Who have you been talking to?
People.
Oh, okay.
My people.
Who's that?
A lot of people.
That means that no one said that. Or
That's
one
like
person.
God's, that's okay. Beth, Tom, Stu Cone, a couple of people mentioned about
Fair,
6
fair.
people.
Okay.
All right, so suck it, bitch. And you've been getting good feedback.
Yes. From our listeners.
Wasn't this something on? It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
What? Don't pick your nails. Bite your nails, I mean.
I'm biting one little cuticle. You're right.
Okay, but right, when I bite it, I'm biting one.
But I'm a
cuticle too.
parent. Do as I tell, not as I do.
Lot going on in the world, I guess.
There always
Kamala
is.
doing well in the polls and the
Is she?
online. I don't know about. Here's the thing: the polls doesn't matter, right? Like no one.
I hate Kamala Harris.
The polls. I honestly, I've lived 28 years of my life. You've lived even double that, right?
Yes.
How old are you?
50. I'll be 57, 58 in January.
So you've lived 58 years, and you've met a lot of people in your life, and you've talked politics with a lot of people in your life, right?
Yes.
Have you ever met someone in your life who's taken a poll, like a Pew poll
No,
or a Gallup
no,
poll?
no.
Me neither.
Got that one fly around. It's bothering the fuck out of me. Because
Like who are these poll?
I feel like I'm a dog. I'm looking at the one. There's one little gnat. 1 minute.
Where?
All right. It'll be back.
I saw
You
your
see it.
eyes keep
I can't-
glancing
I
over.
got it.
Oh, I see it.
Did you get it? Nope. Look like
Got
you're in a
it.
seizure.
I got it.
Don't go shake it up. Nope.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, good. Make sure it's not in your water. It's extra protein. I'd be
yeah,
like this.
I honestly, I feel like it's a scam because first of all, they've never been correct, right? Like they've never predicted the true results of anything. I feel like they're just making shit up, or they're asking. Like I remember I took a statistics class, which I did terribly in college because it just doesn't work. But they ask like 100 people, and then they're like, "This is what's right for the world." It's like, how is
shit's
that
very
accurate?
skewed, and you don't know. Right, you don't know. People use the narrative that works for them.
So I guess if you're just going with that, though, like Kamala's doing well. To be fair, though, from a week ago to now, just from online, and again, it's hard to gauge online because there are so like you really can't believe anything you see online. Like any supportful or supportive post for either side could easily just have been like a paid thing.
Correct.
Right? It does.
It's
You
not-
don't
you
know
don't
if it's
know.
all
You don't know.
organic
Correct.
or not.
Correct.
But let's just go off of like take everything at face value. She has a lot more support than I thought she would have a week ago.
Oh yeah,
A lot
yeah.
more.
I mean, it's a problem. And if Trump doesn't run his campaign right and just starts acting like Trump bad-mouthing her, that's going to be disservice too.
Yeah, we need the Trump from like 2-3 weeks ago.
Which unfortunately seems like it's lost. He had the momentum. He had humility and
Yeah.
some compassion
But I think
because he's Trump.
yeah.
But he's good at what he
And,
does.
and the fact that now she's a woman, it's like it's only gonna make him seem
Look
more
like
sexist.
misogynistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's listen, if she wins, we have bigger problems than if Biden would have win. You know that. It's a real problem.
Why? Why do you say that?
I love when you do that.
No, because I'm actually genuinely curious.
She's very
why.
socialistic. Okay.
What?
She's like
Whenever
she's close to like Bernie Sanders in her views. She's
based
done
on
nothing.
what? On her saying
That's her
that?
beliefs. No,
Is
that's
it?
what. Yeah, that's what she is. A big concern. She's done nothing. I think it's gonna be a major problem. I think it's gonna be a major problem for our country and the world if she's president.
But why is she worse than Biden?
Because Biden at least Biden had a following, and there were people that liked him. There was still part of things he could have gotten done. I think.
But why does that make him better? Hitler had a following. That's make him better.
Okay, because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, and I don't want Biden either, but I would have chose Biden over her.
Yeah, but no, I'm asking why. Because you're saying because Kamala hasn't done anything. What has Biden done?
No, but Biden's been involved in office for years. I think he's incompetent too, but she's just her views are so far left.
What are her views? I'm not even trying to say gotcha. I genuinely don't know her views.
Well, first of all, she
Which
was in charge of the border, and look how that worked out. Mm-hmm. She got less than like 3% of the delegate votes when she ran for president.
That's not her views.
Okay, I'm just telling you my opinion, whatever.
I know, but you said her views are way more left than Biden. I'm saying, what are her views? Because I don't know
specifically, but I know for a fact.
But you're claiming that they're way far left.
But
you said she's a
socialist.
socialist.
Because I know for a fact she is very close to Bernie. Look it up.
What are her views?
Look it up. You'll say.
I'm asking you. You're the one saying she's socialist. She doesn't say she is.
This is what I'm hearing, and what people are saying, and what's on the news. So if you want to look at it, you can find out exactly, is she close to Bernie Sanders in that component? That's like a general thing going on.
Meaning what? Like, what is Bernie Sanders?
Very with true equality, she wants people to start at the same position and end at the same position. She wants true equality across the board.
I don't know if she does want that.
Okay, but this is what I'm hearing. So you can look it up. I don't know.
Like, I honestly think we should go to her actual campaign website to see what she's actually running on, because I don't even know. So you think she is running on the idea of we need to make everyone in America equal? I've never heard her say that in my life.
Okay, whether or not she's running on those ideas, this is her ideology.
Based on what?
Based on from what I'm hearing.
From who?
From people.
Who?
From the news and from people that are involved in this.
What news is saying she is running on making everyone the same?
Okay,
in America, equal.
I'm not talking about what she's running on. I'm talking about for
what she believes.
I'm talking about it's like AOC might have a certain, but you know AOC's ideology or what she really wants.
AOC is very vocal about that stuff. I've never heard, which is one of my concerns with her, is that I've never heard her Kamala. I'm saying,
and she's a fucking name when you watch her talk.
I've never heard Kamala ever actually say what she believes. So that's why I'm asking you. You're saying she believes all these things, and I'm saying I've never even heard her say anything.
Okay,
which is my concern. So your concern is she has all these beliefs. My concern is she has no beliefs.
Okay,
but so that's why I'm asking you, where are you getting these beliefs from?
And look it up if you want, but this is what I'm also hearing.
Let's go to her campaign.
But her campaign
website.
Page might be different than.
But that's what she's running on.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything because the Democrats are telling her what to put on her campaign. She probably never even saw her campaign website. She probably had nothing to do with it. Just like when Biden fucking resigned, he had nothing to do with it.
So then where should I get this stuff from?
I don't know. You can look up, again, you're the internet.
Like I was trying to go right to the source, to what she says about herself.
But you understand that.
Because Trump runs on his ideas.
But Trump is more of an independent run. She is another puppet by the Democratic Liberal Party. And therefore, she's not going to her website is not really what she did. The website is a marketing piece for the benefit of what the puppeteer masters want to put out in the community.
So why is she being puppeted for her ideas, but you, who don't even know your sources, you're not being puppeted for your beliefs?
I'm saying what I hear.
Right, I don't. You're being puppeted. Someone is telling you what to say.
No,
because you can't tell me where you got it from. I said where. What is that belief from? And you said people.
No. So when I listen to certain people,
who? Stop saying people.
Scott Osher, Tom McMahon. Okay, when people that are very involved and that follow stuff that I trust their opinion, and I talk to them about certain things that I don't know about, and talk to them, and I get this information about her. Okay, and from the 4 years she's been in office, she's done nothing except create harm with the borders and things like that. So
why does she have belief? Like, why is she strong about wanting to make everyone equal if she hasn't done anything?
Okay, because she might not have been in a position as VP because it's just a fucking rubber stamp, and president of a different position. Do you understand? There's a huge difference, so that's why.
No, I understand. my worry with her is that she's not very vocal about what she stands for, and you're saying the opposite. That's why I'm just
no. I'm not saying
about it.
okay. I'm not talking about what she's vocal or not vocal on. But certain people, for example, based on about what the Obamas' beliefs are and who they are.
Yeah, because they have a track record of stuff. She doesn't. The only track record of actual politics that she has is like arresting people for very small misdemeanors and filling up prisons in California. That's the only political track record that she has, to me at least. I might be missing things, but that's my biggest concern. Actually, my biggest concern is the border stuff. But my second biggest concern is this woman is running on a platform of just being a woman, right? Like she has no actual political beliefs. She doesn't have a vision for how she's going to make the country better.
She does. And if you look it up, there's definitely a source you can look it up, and we can speak to people that we trust about it that research this stuff. You haven't researched it. I haven't researched it, but you do.
I don't know. I'm always seeing every single day I see videos of Trump talking about his ideas because I'm just online.
But it's Trump.
I never see videos of her talking about her ideas because she doesn't. And that's what I'm saying. And that's
But
scary.
she does have ideas.
Because we should know what the president believes. Biden, we didn't even really know either. And that's concerning. And he really didn't even do anything. And that was a problem. But you were saying she's worse than Biden. I was asking why, And
I told you why.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you didn't really give me solid answers,
No,
but I
I
hear
did.
you.
But I did tell you why, because I told you 3 or 4 reasons why. And you asked me and it's just like if you come to me for a question of law and you know that you trust me and respect me and I have 30 plus years of practicing and you think I'm a good attorney, you're going to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
You can search things up on your own, but if these are people that I trust and respect based in their areas of what they do and whatever, knowing them for 50 or 30 plus years plus 50 years, I respect what they have to say. So that's where I get some of my information.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I'm not saying this with you, but I think a lot of people one, she's unlikable. Just objectively, she's pretty unlikable.
Well, that's,
she seems pretty snooty.
subjectively, not objectively.
Well,
I sound like you now, don't I?
I mean, I guess that is subjective, but I'm trying to say the majority of people don't really like her.
Correct.
Even when she was vice president, she wasn't really loyal.
But now they're going to like her because it's anything anti-Trump.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make is that she is unlikable in general, but I think a lot of people think Kamala is going to be worse than Biden just because she's kind of like a black woman, honestly.
That's going to make it worse?
No, I'm saying I think people your age, just people in America,
I didn't care about that.
Just have a bad taste in their mouth because she's a black woman. Would you rather have Kamala be president or Bernie Sanders be president? Who do you think would be worse for the country?
I think both would be bad.
Who do you think would be worse?
I don't know the answer to that.
I would just objectively be I would rather have Bernie Sanders in office because he just seems more likable than she does. To me.
That would be
but honestly, I think it's because she's a woman and she's kind of an annoying woman. And so I think to a lot of people in America...
as a person, a personality, I don't like her.
Right, but when you were saying she's going to be worse than Biden, I don't know, is part of that just because she's a black woman? If it was Bernie Sanders and her running, I think you would be well, Bernie Sanders at least would be better than Kamala. But Bernie Sanders is way far more left than Kamala. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are just
I don't think from what I'm hearing, he's not so far left from her, just so you know. Seriously.
Bernie Sanders is the most left.
Yes, that's
not progressive,
true.
Right? Progressive is different. Because Bernie Sanders isn't into all the trans stuff. He's into a left government, right?
Yes. And she
socialism.
is too. And she is too.
But she's never been that. She's never been.
If it doesn't
But that's what I'm asking.
She's never been
because she's hidden it from all of us.
Really?
But then how do all these people know if she's hidden it from all of us?
Just like the press try to hide Biden that we've known for years about. So I don't think there's anything hidden.
Biden has a very, very long track record of in government making decisions.
I'm talking about Biden of his physical ailments.
Yeah.
Okay, and his mental.
But so you're saying they've been hiding Kamala's ideas from us?
I don't think she's had any say as a VP because nobody really cared. But again, not to beat a dead horse, if you research it, I bet you can find that she's very far left.
I know, but then why? But why are you saying it? Just because other people told you?
Third time, because people that I trust that are very involved in the political.
But if they're hiding it, then how are these people getting it?
I don't think they're hiding it.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
No, I don't think.
Because when I said Bernie Sanders is far left, You were like, I don't know if he's that far left.
No, I said she's not so far off from Bernie Sanders. She's far left
and
too.
I just don't. I didn't have that
True,
idea.
but you never really follow. You haven't. None of us have, and you haven't really followed Kamala because there's no need to follow her or learn about her
because she hasn't done anything in politics. That's my issue.
Okay, and what is Pence when he was VP? No one knows.
He has we can look at a track record of his voting for decades. That's what I'm saying is like Bernie Sanders for 40 years has made yes or no decisions on things.
I'm talking about Pence.
Hold on. And okay, Pence for
as VP.
Hold on, wait. Right, but okay, let's talk about before Pence was VP. He was a congressman and a senator and a governor. You can look at decisions he's made over decades in politics and be like, oh, he clearly is on right. Because if you were making decisions, I could look at all the decisions that you've made and like put together a worldview of, oh, Jonathan Bloom pretty clearly thinks this way because he's made all these decisions that are public we can look at. Bernie Sanders, same thing. Kamala was only attorney general, and then she ran for president, and then she failed, and then she became vice president, and she didn't do anything. They put her away, right? Like they literally hit her. So that's just what I'm saying. I'm concerned because she doesn't have a track record of acting in certain ways, so we don't know how she's going to act. Trump didn't have a track record either, but he was very clearly vocal. He came out and he was like, I am going to build a border wall. Right? He didn't have a track record of doing
why don't you
it, but
Google
she doesn't really.
See if she is once socialism. Why don't you just see what it says?
What do you want me to Google? Is Kamala Harris socialist?
Yeah, try that.
Where should we go? I mean,
I don't know. You're the one that's in charge of
this is Wikipedia. Kamala Harris identifies as a capitalist and has said she is not a socialist, but insists that more needs to be done to ensure equal opportunities, particularly for working people. That's her economic issues. I mean, look how many. There's so many political
who cares about
opinions on what she. But anyways, so the one thing that we do know, like to just pivot ever so slightly, the one thing that we do know of her track record is the stuff at the border.
She did nothing there.
No,
not only did nothing, made it worse.
Yeah. And but she didn't even do anything. Like she was put in charge. She never even went, like she went to the border once. Like she never even did anything.
Did she even go to the border?
I think so.
I never heard she went to the border.
But get this. So
I do like her laugh, by the way. It's a joke, people.
So there was a press conference this week with, you call her Raggedy Ann, Karen Jean-Pierre.
Fucking hate her.
And
she should run for president.
There was a press conference, and one of the members of the press was like, there's this card going around DC, like to all the congressmen and senators and all this stuff with like talking points about Kamala. And he like showed it to Raggedy Ann, Karen Jean-Pierre. He was like, what do you have to say about this?
She's a liar too, by the way.
Well, so get this. On the card, it was literally like an index card, a page with talking points, and they gave it like the Democratic Party was handing this out to all the Democratic congressmen so that they can all be on the same page about being behind Kamala.
That's
right?
not a joke.
The first thing that it says is, let me just get it up because it's just so blatant. Let me get up a picture of the thing here. So it says the first thing it says. Vice President Harris was never, in caps, appointed, quote, border czar. There has never been such a position. It doesn't exist, period. Border czar title was invented by Republicans and press. Kamala Harris was not asked to lead on the admin's immigration or border enforcement policies. And then it keeps going, right? So the first thing that the Democratic Party is trying
to diffuse.
Yeah, is Kamala Harris. So they literally say, she was never appointed border czar, and there has never been such a position. It doesn't exist, okay? So he questioned the White House press secretary about this, and she was like, I don't know what that page is, so you can't ask me that. I don't know what that is. So, but
she does that a lot, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, but so this is what the Democratic Party is wanting to get behind. Meanwhile, it's just a complete lie. It's almost like...
But they lie about everything.
You know the Mandela effect? Have you heard of that? Like,
I've heard. I don't know what it is.
Where there are... I mean, it's a fun topic for us to even talk about in a separate thing where we can talk about it. No, but it's the idea that like there are different parallel universes and that sometimes we remember something, but it's not actually true, right? So like a lot of people remember that Nelson Mandela died in prison. And they're like, I remember watching it on TV. But meanwhile, that's not true. Nelson Mandela didn't die in prison. He died a decade after he got out of prison. And so it was just a false memory that people have. But the Mandela effect, the idea of it is a lot of people share the same one. So then people are theorizing, like, why is this? Are we just all kind of, do we have bad memory?
Or we just puppets and regurgitate things that we're told.
Or are there parallel universes that split off and that all these people are having memories from that universe where Nelson Mandela did die in prison? And there's a lot of weird ones, right? Like, do you remember the Berenstain Bears, the book?
Yeah.
It's not the Berenstain Bears. It's Berenstain. That's what it is. Berenstain Bears. But in my mind, I'm like, no. It's 100% Berenstain Bears. Anyways, there's a lot of examples of those. But this feels like it's one of those because they're saying she was never borders are and that position never existed. But then in my mind, when I first heard that, I was like, that's not true because I remember watching her say it herself, right? So then people were like, that's just objectively not true because look, this is from March 24th, 2021. It's the House Resolution 253. It's a bill that the House of Representatives passed, right? March 24th, 2023. Here it says, whereas on March 24th, 2021, Vice President Kamala Harris was named border czar in charge of leading efforts to stem migration across the U.S.-Mexico border.
But
it's like
that's that's the truth.
This is a factual. Then this is their document.
That's the truth.
But then meanwhile, they're telling all their people to say factually.
But we know they're liars.
But it's just so blatant. It's so crazy.
But people don't. Everyone that's anti-Trump doesn't care what's blatant or not. They want to believe what they want to believe because they're all anti-Trump.
And then they bring it up to their attention. They go, "Oh, I don't know what that is."
Correct.
But she didn't say, "Oh yeah, there is no border czar," or "No, Kamala Harris was the border czar." They just say, "Oh, I don't know what that is."
Right. That's what you do.
But it's like that's even. By the way, this amount of lying is even worse than they did in like the Soviet Union.
No, it's a fucking.
It's worse than it is in China and North Korea right now. Like that's.
But this is what they do.
It's crazy.
No, it shows you the corruption. It's a 100% lie.
Like that is so insane that they're and it's like the mafia. And like top down, they're telling all their people, this is the line. This is what you say.
Because there are people in control, 100%.
Yeah, and this is what you do, and that's it. And if someone questions it, you just deny it.
By the way, doesn't matter as long as it's against Trump. Doesn't matter. None of it matters. It's the fucking bullshit narrative.
Like to literally, and they use the fact that what's so annoying too is that they use the quote.
I hate raggedy.
Like it says, Vice President Harris was never appointed, and then in quotes, borders are. But then in the bill from the House of Representatives, it also used the quotes. It says Vice President Kamala Harris was named, quote, borders are. It's like, it's so blatant.
Are you really surprised? Honestly.
Yeah, because it's so like it's just so blatant.
I think all of them are full of shit with everything what they've been doing.
So she was actually named border czar. Like you can't change the past.
So the one thing we all know that she was in charge of, she fucked up the worst. That destroyed our country. Because that's by the way,
it's the worst thing.
That's the number one thing that's the most important thing. By the way, to Democrats and Republicans.
Yep. And that's why that's the first 3 points on that party talking list about Kamala is don't talk about the border. Don't talk about the border.
Yeah, but Brian,
because that's their like that is a blemish.
But you don't think they have 3 months now 4 months before the 4 months before the election? You don't think they're going to spin that? And people, and people in 2 months will believe like, she had nothing to do with the border.
Not only just, they're not going to spin it, they're just brushing it under the rug like it never even happened. But they're rewriting history.
And people are going to say, she was not in charge of the border.
Yeah.
No, so she will destroy our country firsthand.
The fact, so like the disagreement we were having about her political beliefs and all that stuff, where I fall on it, I've been thinking over the last week a lot about Kamala, honestly, because it's like a big deal.
Yep.
And I've just been like, I don't know where she stands on anything, and she hasn't done anything. But the one thing that she was put in charge of and that she did is actually the worst thing that's been happening in our country, objectively, and everyone agrees with that, left and right. How are they going to reconcile that? And then meanwhile, they're just reconciling it by lying.
Correct.
And it's like, that is scary.
It's like a deposition. You say, I don't remember.
But they're not saying they don't remember. They're perjuring themselves.
I'm using it as an analogy.
But it's even worse.
It's perjury if you remember you lie. You don't want to give the answer you say.
Yeah, but at least, I don't remember, I can't remember. Is like, instead of saying, I know what it was, but it was not that. It was the exact opposite. It's like that,
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's corruption on top of corruption on top of corruption.
And then meanwhile, Newsom, this past week.
Endorsed her?
No. I mean, he has endorsed her previously, like right when she announced to run. But Newsom this past week signed the executive order as governor to ban homelessness in the state of California.
How's that even possible? Though?
First of all, that's great. Like, right? Like that's a great law for them to do. Who knows what actually is going to come from it?
Nothing.
But then when I saw that headline and like all the quotes were like, Newsom says, enough is enough, blah, blah, blah. And so I was thinking, I was like, he decides to ban homelessness now. He's been in office for years.
Because he thinks he'll be VP?
Yeah, 100%, right? It's like that's, so same with Kamala on the border that they're just going to brush it under the rug. The biggest blemish to Newsom's career is that objectively, everywhere in the country, people hear Gavin Newsom, California, and they go, oh yeah, but the homelessness became a huge problem in California under him. It got worse and worse and worse. Even Democrats in California are like, I love being a Democrat. I love California, but the homelessness was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the 11th hour, right before he can so he can erase that blemish, he's going to be like, hey, look what I did. I made it illegal. It's like, but hopefully something comes from it, right? Like things can have, even if it has an ulterior motive and it's a sinister motive, it could have good effects. I don't know if it's going to.
But the problem is that the people voting, they're fucking dumb and ignorant and forgetful. That's the problem. They're not going to care. They're like, okay, banned it. It's anything against Trump. That's what it comes down to. This will help them justify in their mind why they should vote for them. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, see, Newsom was always trying to get it, and he finally got it done.
Right, and we need him now as our VP.
Yeah, and Kamala was doing her best at the border, but it was out of her control because Trump set up all the, that's a line they pull. Like Trump fucked up the border, and then they were doing damage
control. We took over the
control.
mess. That's what they always say.
What? Oh, yeah, we took over the mess.
Yeah, give me a fucking break.
Yeah. So I saw that Newsom one, and I was like, oh, my God.
When does she choose? She definitely has the nomination?
No, she has to be voted by the delegates, which is August 17th, I think.
So again, the Democrats talk about fucking running, doing things that are not in a democratic way. They literally just say, we're going to put whoever we want. Not what the people want. The people wanted Biden, right? That's who got the nominee. And say, we're going to do what we want because it's like it's a dictatorship. That's all this is. People need to understand that.
It's really, so I agree with you, but you know who else agrees with you on that? On that idea that right? Like, and I agree with you. Let me just read you this tweet because this tweet outlines like the hypocrisy in it. And I'll read you the timeline. So this says timeline of events. Joe Biden drops out. Kamala Harris announces campaign with Biden endorsement. Kamala Harris says she's going to work hard to earn the nomination. Kamala Harris makes calls to party delegates. Then on Monday, Kamala Harris continues making calls to party delegates. She makes 2 public speeches. AP announces that she has secured enough delegates to be the Democratic nominee by that night. Kamala Harris then released a statement noting she has worked hard to go out and earn the nomination. A 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democracy, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democratic Party a party of hypocrites.
It's the truth, though.
Very well said. That's what we were just saying.
That's what I was saying, yes.
Guess who tweeted that?
Who?
The Black Lives Matter Twitter account.
Really?
How crazy is that?
Interesting. Wow, good for...
Black Lives Matter. When would you have ever thought that you would be
BLS.
on the side of Black Lives Matter against a black woman? I saw that and I was like, actually, one of our listeners sent this to us and they were like, look at how upside down the world is. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to try to, it just happened organically, but I was like, I'm going to read this tweet and see if that agrees. But then you did it for me. You said exactly what they're saying.
Because isn't there something that this whole democracy, that what America is based upon, this is totally being thrown out the fucking window.
But at least, so we were saying it and then you and I were both just saying, but people anti-Trump will just never even see it. I don't know. They're kind of seeing it. If BLM is saying, and Kamala's a black woman, that's right up their alley. But if they're being like, this is too much, this is undemocratic, I think people see it.
It's a real problem if it's allowed.
I think that, like, obviously, I'm just poking fun because I think it's funny that we are on the side of Black Lives Matter and this idea. But I do think that is kind of a ray of hope that, like, even they see it, and let alone, it's one thing to just see it and be like, oh, we still want Kamala to be president, so we're going to be quiet. But they're calling it out. They're going against, they said, we're calling the Democrats, we do not live in a dictatorship. The Democrat Party is hypocrites. Like, they're at least calling them out. I think that's a good sign.
It's the truth. But it is the truth.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yeah. I just thought, isn't that funny? That
it is ironic.
Black Lives Matter.
But people are going to vote for her. They don't care. So it has nothing to do with the fact of people voting in America, choosing what they want. It's literally it's the billionaires saying, here's who we're going to have.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that? That's a serious problem, Ronson. Did you ever think you'd ever see that in your lifetime? Well, you're young.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see that.
No, it's like what I was saying with Soviet Union or it's like a a sham country
It's a
where
dictatorship.
You know how like Putin is technically the president, but he really just like no one actually votes, and he always just wins it, and he just does whatever he
puts
wants.
himself in there, yeah.
And it's like that's what this is going to be like.
And they're going to run Kamala a lot more than they ran Biden.
I don't know. Although to be fair, like 6 months ago, they always hid her behind the away from the cameras because she was a terrible speaker, and she has definitely gotten media training because she is out in front of those cameras now, and she knows what she's doing. She's working it, and she's gaining support. Like
100%.
I see it.
Yep. No, it's a problem. Biden, I mean, Trump could have used that gunshot to his advantage, and it lasted 2 weeks. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Bron, we have major problems.
And then there's all the JD Vance stuff where like he's apparently not popular. Although I feel like that's also propaganda from the media because everyone I speak to is like, oh yeah, I like JD Vance. Like no one has negative stuff to say about him. I think it's the abortion stuff is like
that's always been a problem that they should leave that shit out. I'm telling you.
But the problem is there is a solid core base of Republican
Of the
voters
that's right,
that's the only thing they vote on.
The religion shit. Yeah, I get it, Bronson. You're right.
But to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, like if you're going to play the game, right? Because becoming president is just a game of strategy.
It's all marketing shit.
Yeah, and it's just like strategy. What are we going to say that we want to do? What are we going to do that we say? What are we not, right? So if you're Trump, I actually think that's a stupid move to try to go after the base that votes on abortion because you already have them no matter what, right? If you're Trump,
just strictly Republican. You get that.
And you only have to play. It's like the idea of if you're outrunning a bear, you don't need to be the fastest. You just don't need to be the slowest, and you'll still outrun the bear, right? Or you won't be eaten. If you're running a Republican, you don't even need to say anything about abortion because you know that the Democrats are very pro-choice. So you know that the Republican extreme pro-life people, even if you don't say what you are, they're not going to vote the pro-choicer. So they're going to go with you no matter what. So I actually think it's stupid strategy for Trump to have chosen a VP to get the pro-life vote because he already had that vote. He wasn't losing it to Kamala. Kamala's probably aborting babies left and right. You know what I mean? Although I actually don't think she can have kids. So I take that back. I just thought about that right now. I think that was stupid for him to have.
Listen, there's a lot of stupid things, but I think that it's
because it's also alienated a lot of people, which I get. Like there are people who are not pro-life, but they're like, I want to vote for Trump. But then JD Vance, it's like, if you go and get an abortion somewhere and come back into the state, you should be arrested, like because he wants it to be illegal. And it's like that is a harsh thing for a lot of people, especially like a woman. I don't know. I'd be like, I don't want that.
As a woman, I get it.
Yeah,
I don't think we're all gonna like everything about. All the issues about about a politician. That's why I always say I go like my top 4 choices. But it'll be very, very, very bad for our country if she wins and the world. Very bad. So I was in California, this past couple of days.
Yeah.
People still wear masks. Ronnie.
Really?
Yeah. Ron. I'm in the airport and I see people, they wear them and then they take it off to talk and they put it back like, you can't get COVID when you're talking. And COVID, who gives a fuck? People still...
Biden just had COVID and got over it. Biden.
Okay. People still wearing masks in California.
Although some people think Biden's dead. And that it's a body double.
Is it the Avril Lavigne?
Yeah, some people think it's a body double. Because there are pictures also of like...
There's no way.
I don't think so either. But it's like fun to just
seriously
go down that rabbit hole. So Netanyahu was just here this past week.
Great speech, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little bothered by it because he was almost doing like a comedy routine a little bit.
I don't see it that way.
He's like, gays for Gaza. Did you see that part? Gays for Gaza. That's like chickens for KFC. And it's like, you're talking about a war here. Like, don't make jokes.
Yeah, but...
We're trying to win people to our side, and you're joking about the war. Everyone already thinks that we don't care about Palestinians, and now you're making jokes about it. Like, I didn't think that was very good.
Okay, again, you're not gonna like everything in the speech,
of course, but I'm sharing my opinion.
Yeah, but I get it. I thought it was a good speech.
I think he's a good leader and he's strong.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, I felt like if he's addressing Congress, he should be just completely serious, not trying to be like, hey.
I know Congress. I don't think it was like but the Congress.
And then Rashida Tlaib, did you see her? So Rashida Tlaib is a congresswoman Palestinian.
Right.
She's in that whole AOC,
AOC,
Ilhan
yeah,
Omar.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
always that crew.
Yeah, and what about her?
She was, first of all, a lot of people didn't even show up to
Correct.
Netanyahu's
And
speech.
by the way, what's her face?
Kamala Harris
did not. Correct.
So, Kamala Harris
That
didn't,
says something.
She didn't
doesn't
show
that
up to
show
her
you?
speech.
Doesn't that show you something?
Apparently, so at first I was like, that was really terrible because I thought, to me, it seemed purposeful because she did, but apparently what her schedule, like her team said, she had committed to her sorority at her law school or her undergrad or something. She was like doing a speech there and it's been booked for a while. So that's where she was that night. So at first I was like, that's an excuse. But then to be fair, the next day she had a one-on-one meeting with Netanyahu. So at first I was like, she's just avoiding him and she doesn't want to do that. But she did have a one-on-one.
Or
she didn't have to. She's not the president.
Or she didn't go and they realized the
And the
backlash
backlash.
and they said, you need to now take it.
Could be.
That's
Could be.
probably what the deal was.
Yeah. At first I was like, she doesn't want to go to the speech because she hasn't really come out on a stance on Israel yet. And I think she's purposefully not doing that because if she takes a stance, the problem with Biden, as we saw towards the end, was that he took a pro-Israel stance, and a lot of the left, especially the progressives and the youth, are extremely against that stance. So they were like, we can't vote for Biden now. Like they were like that. I remember we talked about it. We're like, this is going to be so interesting because that could give Trump the election. Kamala hasn't really taken a strong stance on it yet. So I think she probably didn't go to that speech because going would have
Maybe.
been like,
I support it.
Yeah. But not Ilhan Omar. Rashida Tlaib went to the speech and just had a sign that said war criminal, and she just held it up in front of us the entire time. And so every time people would stand up and clap, she would stand up and hold it up.
Okay. Honestly, fucking ridiculous. These are people in Congress, right? Can't you be professional? Be professional, not like a fucking child. You have to you don't have to like everything what everyone has to say, but you need to be respectful. It's disgusting, disrespectful. Please.
It's also so
Fucking ridiculous.
it's so hypocritical too of the Democrats because like a lot of Democrats didn't show up for this speech.
Which I thought is also disrespectful.
But then when Zelensky comes to speak, not only do they show up, but they're holding Ukrainian flags. They're like, we need to give all our money. I don't know. It seems a little
Anti-Jew.
Yeah, just something is sus about it because
Yep.
they're kind of similar situations. Although, to be fair, Ukraine was just purely invaded, where Israel is not, like, Ukraine's not the aggressor. Israel right now is like being the aggressor. Like, they're on the offense, which have
is
to be.
great.
Right, but that is like, some people might hear what I just said, and it is kind of, you can compare those two, but they also aren't comparable because Israel is like taking the offense, where Ukraine is just on defense.
True, but they chose the fight. You know what I'm saying? The Hamas chose the
like
fight.
started it.
Iran chose the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also there were these crazy protests in D.C. when Netanyahu was speaking. Like, they were spray painting in Union Square, like federal government
Why would
property.
they allow it?
And no one was arrested.
See what they did to the Liberty Bell?
It wasn't the Liberty Bell because it was in D.C. and the Liberty Bell's in Philadelphia.
It was-
I thought it was a Liberty Bell.
I thought it was Liberty
too.
Bell. Oh,
But
okay.
it was in D.C. and the Liberty Bell's
Why
in
do
Philly.
they allow it?
They're spray painting Gaza, or Hamas is
Correct.
coming.
By the way,
like-
if the Jews spray painted it, they'd be arrested. You know that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that there were all these people arrested during January 6th that were just like walking around the Capitol building, literally walking, but these people are defacing government property.
Yeah,
I'm not saying all the people in January 6th weren't. There were definitely people who were defacing property, but there were people who weren't, who are still in jail, right? There were people who were just taking steps, just trespassing, and they're still in jail. These people were defacing the property, and nothing. It's just like, come on.
No, it's wrong on every level. Every level. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's so much
The world's
shit.
so fucked up. All he knows, we are fucked if Trump doesn't win. Honestly, you don't understand how bad it's going to be if he doesn't win.
Everything is bad. Even if he wins, like, what's going to happen? Are the wars just going to all stop?
No, Bronson, let me explain something to you. If Trump doesn't win, the next 4 years, we're done. Done, Bronson. Your future is done.
But so here's my worry about Trump, though. Like, let's say,
no worries.
Like Putin and Ukraine, right? Trump has said, "Yeah, I have a friendly relationship with Putin. I can just get him to stop it." Right? It's been 2.5 years of that war. Putin hasn't let up or just continued. it gets worse and worse. Like they keep doubling down. Russia is doubling down on this thing, losing so many people, tripling down, right? Still losing so many people. I think there's too much investment now
to turn back.
There's too much ego also. Like Putin is getting old. He's had a long career and it's been building up to this. Like if you look back at old speeches, his whole thing that he ran on when he was like 25, when he was like in his 30s, was the idea of like bringing back a Russian empire, like restoring Russia to the glory that it once was. And that involves taking back the land that he believes is Russian land. So this was his entire goal of his life. And he's sort of towards the end of it, right? Like he doesn't have that much time left. And he's really like gone for it. And there's so much ego involved. Like, why would he stop because Trump tells him to? And then my worry is Trump also has a big ego. So let's say Trump's running on, I can get this Russia thing nipped in the bud in less than a day. And then Putin is going to be like, I've invested 3 years in this thing in my entire career. No fucking way. And then Trump is going to be like, well, I ran on stopping this war. Now he told me, no, I got to stop it. And then now we're directly involved. You know, like that's a very easy pathway to this war escalating,
okay,
in my opinion.
Right, okay.
It's a possibility. It's
not. And it's a possibility. I don't think that will happen. But the bigger issue for me is.
Like, what if Trump says, I'm going to get this war stopped? He calls Putin and Putin says no. Trump's going to be like, oh, okay. No. Trump is also very egotistical, stubborn, which we like about him because that makes us a strong country.
But Bronson, I think the bigger issue of him not being in office the next 4 years is our economy getting destroyed. Just hear me out.
But what about this issue?
I agree, but I think the bigger issues are first our own economy, our safety of our borders, interest rates, drugs.
But you don't have.
But there's many issues that have to be resolved in this broken country that we live in the broken world. I don't think the Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Middle East war is the top priorities of what Trump needs to fix for the benefit when I say you guys are fucked. Okay. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, we are fucked if he doesn't win.
So
you don't say major.
I agree with you that
major.
Seems like it seems to us in our life that all of the things you said are way more important. They're way higher priorities. But the issue is like a few months ago, Putin said on camera, I can show you him saying it. He said, if the U.S. gets any direct involvement, because we've always been doing it through Ukraine, we send our missiles there and they shoot it off. So he was like, if the U.S. actually does anything themselves, I will use weapons of mass destruction, which means nukes. He said that. So that's... you don't have interest rates if we're nuked. Okay. You don't have...
I know. We talked about this and gone down that road. I'm not as worried about that.
I don't know. It's worrying mine.
I think... Okay, fair enough. But I think a lot of the politicians say stuff and then they change or whatever.
No politician ever has said, I will use nukes if you do that.
I'm not worried about that. But again, it'll be a mood issue. Even our podcast will be a mood issue. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I don't want that to be the case.
I get it. I don't think that's going to be the case. But what I'm telling you right now, our society, our country, the European, the world with the relations with America and things like that.
And within Europe. Europe is no longer really Europe. And we've talked about that. Yes. But so to go down that, because that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Like the Olympics just started, right? Did you watch anything from the opening ceremony?
I missed it. I heard a lot about it. I heard about the whole transgender, the gay, just everything with the mockery of the Last Supper, all those things, which, by the way, turned a lot of people off that I was talking about it. And two, that was a quick pivot. And two,
I know, but I wanted to get to that.
I get it.
Running out of time.
And then the other aspect is, what's that have to do with fucking sports? Seriously, to me, when I heard that, I'm not a big Olympic watcher guy anyway, especially summers. I like the winter a little bit better, but I won't watch it.
That's a hot take.
What?
That's a hot take.
What do you mean?
That you like the Winter Olympics better. I feel like that's an unpopular opinion, but
because I like the skiing and shit like that.
Yeah. So I saw clips. I didn't watch the whole thing just because I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit down and watch a 2-hour French production about like that. I don't care about
rain
that.
Well,
that's out of their control.
I know. I'm not saying it require response. I'm just saying it sucked that it had to be in the rain.
It sucked that it had to be in the rain.
That's all. Sure. Thanks, Bron. I thought it was in the control. I thought it was that Nero thing, whatever you called it.
A lot of people who were like offended about all this stuff were saying the whole thing's a shit show. They shouldn't have never done it. It was raining the whole time. And it's like, yeah, but you can't fault them for the rain.
No, but they're just saying, just me like on top of it, they're fucking was standing around in the rain.
So I didn't see the whole thing. So I saw
the part with the horse, the metal horse going through the water.
So the horse. So when the Olympics, when the opening.
One last thing. I'm sorry, and I hate this whole. I don't like this whole entertainment fiasco. I don't like it.
What do you mean?
Like I said, even the Republican National Convention, how they make it such a spectacle. Entertainment. Yeah, I don't like it. But the
opening ceremonies, to be fair, like I still remember 2008 Beijing opening ceremony, and it was like a huge spectacle, and it walked through the history of China. And I remember the world was like, it changed the world. Like people still talk about it. And then London 2012 was a huge so the opening ceremonies of the Olympics is a spectacle. To be fair, like that is the point of that. It is.
I know, but I don't like it.
Okay, but it's not like this year they like did it. They're like, oh, they made it to a spectacle because it's
but
always.
This seems like it had nothing to do with anything.
So to be fair, I only saw snippets out of context. But I was getting my hair cut when the Olympics were live. Like this opening ceremony was live. So there was a TV on, so I was just like watching a little bit of it, 20 minutes, And I saw the horse boat galloping with like a person with a cape on it.
A woman.
No, it was a robot.
No, it was a woman.
No. Oh, was it? No, because it was like a huge thing. Hold on, I mean, I can get it up.
Well, there was a woman who they got on the stage.
Yes,
so
but I think it was like it was like a fake horse on the water and a fake woman,
right?
And then it was a real horse and a real woman.
Okay.
Let me see, Olympic.
So
I watched and I was like, that's weird. Why is there a crusader on a horse on a like white horse?
And the cape was the Olympic flag.
Yeah, but I remember looking at it and I was like, this is odd. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, this is odd. What does it have to do with
What does it mean?
So, I mean...
I didn't know it meant anything if it did.
A lot of people... I don't know if this is what it meant in the Olympics, right? It could just be a thing, but a lot of people... So, and I don't agree with this. Like, I think this is people being kind of annoying and like finding problems in everything because a lot of people on the right do that now. Like, everything they look at that the left does, they're like, it's satanic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've talked about that before, but everything the left does, they're like... It's not just that they're doing something that's offensive. They're worshipers of Satan.
So what was the purpose?
So they're saying that this whole Olympic ceremony, a lot of people on the right are saying the whole Olympic ceremony was a satanic ritual that was like about anti-Christianity and like the end of days. But so it's like, I don't really agree with that.
What was the deal with the Last Supper?
So the horse, I don't know what the deal with the Last Supper was because that's not even French, it's Italian.
Right.
But the horse, Revelation, the book of Revelation, which is the end of days, like the battle between good and evil, Satan rising, and Jesus coming and defeating evil, right? That's the book of Revelation, which is a prophecy of what's going to happen in the end of days on earth. That's what Christians believe. The end of days is heralded in the book of Revelation by, we can read the actual quote. It's heralded by like the Antichrist and Satan's arrival is marked. You've heard of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right?
Yes,
You've heard that.
yes.
So the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the first 3 are like famine, war, and something. We can find it out. And they're red, blue, and green or something. And they ride first. And then a pale horse with a pale rider is the horse of death, the 4th horseman, and that heralds the end of days. That with the horse of death is Satan's coming.
Okay.
And so you watch this thing and it's like, it's a single pale horse. And you're just, I don't know if that's what they're really trying to do, but
what was interesting?
Weird. Like, that's
but isn't that too coincidental?
Let me see.
And why would France do that?
Of death, Revelation.
Why would France do that?
I don't know. I don't know what so let's see. This says, the white horse is the first one, I guess. It says, let's see, it's the Antichrist. Oh, this is way too much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a white horse, a red horse, a black horse, and a pale horse. That's the one I wanted. So here, the fourth and final horseman is named Death. Death, of all the riders, the only one whom the text explicitly gives a name to, unlike the other three, not described as carrying a weapon. The color of Death's horse is written as blah, blah, blah. It's just translated as pale. Yeah, it's like the beginning of the end. So a lot of people were like, that is them signaling at that. And then the fact that there were all these, like, it was all... So the people that were saying that it's satanic, they were saying like the reason why they included the Last Supper was because that was Jesus's last meal as on earth. And when he was killed...
What was the clip with the Last Supper?
I'll show you it.
And why do it, though? Why would they do that?
So Christians are saying this is clearly satanic because they're making a mockery of Christ, and that's what the devil does. The devil, every chance he can get, makes a mockery.
Why would France do that as their opening?
I don't know.
There
hasn't been an explanation for it.
Look at this. I got to see this.
So this is the clip from it.
Look.
So it's all fat or
transgender.
Yeah, or drag. A lot of them were drag. I don't know if they were trans.
Performing the song King. Costumes? None other than Louis Vuitton.
Okay, why do this?
And a kid. So that is
Okay.
the Last Supper.
Okay, so why? Okay, I'm offended by that.
Why?
Why do that?
But why are you offended?
Because why do you need it? Why do you need for the Olympics this whole fucking transgender gay thing?
Oh, you're offended by the transgender, not the Last Supper part.
Well, I'm not religious in that regard,
Yeah,
but if I was, that's offensive.
I would. If I was Christian,
why?
I would.
Because here's my why do it?
Yeah.
Why?
Why do it with trans?
How? Okay. Have you researched why the Olympics did that?
So no, and the thing too is that all of these videos and stuff have been getting copyright stricken.
Fuck.
So the Olympics is taking down every single post that people are talking about this.
Why? They have the right to?
Like this. Look, this just says telecommunications company C Spire has removed all advertising. Oh no, that's a different thing. So
Why
here, look,
would
there's
they
a few
do
things.
that?
Like there's this one too.
Look.
What is
Wait,
this?
play that. What?
Okay, also wait.
All right, I would turn it off.
Wait, do you want to see something even crazier? So first of all, what is this? It's a blue half-naked man
with
dancing.
a tail.
What does this have to do with anything?
With a tail.
And then you want to see something even crazier? Now, I don't think this is purposeful, but look at...
What the fuck is that?
Wait, hold on.
What's in his crotch?
His ball's hanging out. It is. His ball's hanging out. There are clear pictures of it. His ball, there's a testicle on television as part of this Olympic ceremony. A man's testicle. Let me see if I can
What
get
is
it better.
going on with this world? Why is that part of the Olympics, Bronson?
What does this have to do? Look there, look. His testicle's hanging
Let me
out.
see.
Look, his full ball sack.
That's purposeful. 100%. Don't you agree?
And they're all trans.
Yep. Why are they doing that?
And it's a fat woman who was playing Jesus.
Okay, why do that?
And it's a naked, he's has a loin, he's...
No, but why?
I don't know. It's weird.
Disgusting. I'm sorry.
It's weird.
Fucking disgusting. The Olympics. By the way, the Olympics is like it's like the Coliseum, the best of the best fighting. Warriors, professional, the best in the world are what they do. And this is how they started?
Yeah, and then you want to hear a shitty...
By the way, those fucking people, those fucking trans whatever, they couldn't fucking lift a cup up without being out of breath.
Yeah, and it's just, what does the woke stuff have to do with any of the Olympic stuff?
Ridiculous.
Okay, and then the worst...
Gross.
This has taken a turn that has been terrifying.
I'd be offended if I was Catholic.
Yeah, or Christian.
Yeah, I'd be offended. It's a mockery.
And people have been saying they never would have done that about anything Islamic. They would have never made mockeries of anything Muslim.
Right.
Well, first of all, the Muslim people would have come in and burned the entire Olympics down.
Correct.
If they did that. Because they literally, the last time a French thing made fun of Muhammad, they all died. Remember that Charlie Hebdo shooting? They made a comic of Muhammad in France, in Paris, and then a bunch of terrorists came in and shot up the entire newspaper. So that is how they react. So that is one of the reasons why they probably wouldn't do it to Muslim too. But anyways, this has taken a turn, which everything nowadays does when you on the internet, and you don't see this because you're not on Twitter, which you're honestly better off not seeing this stuff, but I see it every day. The amount of anti-Semitism that is on Twitter, just not even just Twitter, that is just out there blatant and just accepted. Everything we've talked about this episode, right? where we're just stating things as matter of fact. We're just being like, this is normal. Like, and we're not even being like, I don't know if we should say that. We're just like saying our thoughts, right? That's how people are with like extremely anti-Semitic stuff, right? So we were saying this Olympic Games or the Olympic opening ceremony, it's ridiculous, it's offensive. Like, what are they doing? That fat woman is Jesus. Like, what the hell? So now the whole thing is that the man who made who choreographed the opening ceremony is a Jewish guy. So now everyone on Twitter is like, see, it is satanic. The Jews are out here. They are purposely making a mockery. First of all, not only do they control all the stuff, right? But they're blatantly showing us that they are anti-Christ and that they all want us gone and that they make fun of our God.
Oh, God.
And then the woman who was the fat woman playing Jesus is also Jewish. And so they're like you go on and you see that they're talking about all the Jewish aspect of it, and it's like it's so
terrible.
It's terrible, like
terrible,
and it's everywhere. The anti-Semitism now.
You know why? Because everyone thought it. Now they can be open about it.
I know, but that's so scary.
Yeah, we have to combat it further. It's bad.
It is like blatant. The like anti-Semitism. You know, during the opening, the Olympic march, right? Mm-hmm. Each country comes in with their athletes.
Yep.
This year they did it on boats on the river, which was really cool.
Yep.
Like each country had a boat, and all the athletes were on the boat with their flags, sailing down the river. It looked awesome. It did. Palestine has a team, so the whole idea of the Olympics is like it's countries participating, right? Palestine is
unified people.
Yeah, but anyways, Palestine is not a country. It is not a legal country. Now, we can argue it should be, right? Different story. But it is not a country.
So
but
why they allow
have
it?
An Olympic
Why they
team.
allow it?
And by the way, so the procession was going, right? And I don't know if this was the case on NBC, which is doing the American broadcast, but BBC is doing the British broadcast. They made, like, when the Palestine boat was coming, they were like, Palestine team, these guys are heroes, blah, blah, blah. When the Israel boat came, they didn't even show it, let alone announce it. They didn't show the Israel team.
Purposeful.
Like, Palestine is, and again, that's a different story. If we want to have the conversation of they should be a country, we can have that conversation. But if you're going on the Olympics, right? Like, the Olympic bylaws,
criteria, right?
You are a country. And if you're not, right, there is a thing called the refugee team. It's the Olympic Refugee Committee team, where they fly under a white flag. You've probably seen them, and it's people who don't have a country but still qualify for the Olympics. And I think that's an awesome team. Like, that's amazing, because let's say you are an amazing athlete, but you come from a country that's war-torn right now, and you're like, I hate my government, and so you're like, I want to compete in the Olympics, but I'm not going to compete under a flag that I hate. So you go under the white flag.
Right, I respect that.
And that's an amazing thing. I
respect that. Yep.
So if the Olympics is either you're in a country or if you're not in a country, you go on this
refugee team.
But Palestine is not a country. So the Palestinian athletes, if they qualify, they should 100% be in the Olympics, but under the white flag, not under the flag of a country that doesn't exist. So it's hypocrisy.
And it's the writing. It's using what they want. Like when they weaponize the laws to go after Trump, they just change whatever the fucking want. Again, look what the Democrats did right now with Kamala. There's no democracy. They just do whatever the fuck they want. So this is a very, very quick, slippery slope. If we continue to allow this shit, that's why we need the right people in office, and we have to fucking stand up with our voice.
And the Israel team, the Israel athletes,
I worry about your future, Bron.
Everywhere the Israel athletes are going in France, like to get to any of their games, any of the events, they have like huge security details because they've been threatened. I mean, we talked about
terrible?
this, but we talked about this last week. Like, Israeli Olympic athletes have been murdered at the Olympics in the past, by Palestinians. Like, that has happened before. So it's
but we're the problem. I mean, give me a fucking break. Seriously, it's a fucking joke. Fucking retards. Seriously, aren't you worried about your future?
Yes, very much so. But then, to be fair, there are a lot of rays of hope. Not on the anti-Semitism front. There's no rays of hope on that. That just gets worse by the day, truly. But there are rays of hope with the woke stuff and the cancellation and
really? Are there? I hear. Wait.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'm being rhetorical. But look at the wokeism shit that France did with the opening.
I know, but no one liked it. Everyone looks at this and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like,
hey, you need to start getting a little more into guns for your future. I'm not trying to be difficult here. I want to tell you, Bronny, You need to be well versed. You need to come shooting with me and get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Honestly, because I'm worried about your future and you're going to have kids one day. This is a major problem.
Yeah.
So when I go shooting, will you come with me? And I think the more I understand, I respect the fact that you don't like them. I get it.
Oh, no. What do you mean? I've never said I don't like them.
I
just don't go because it's far away and I'm just like, yeah, I don't go.
The more you use it, the more comfortable you'll be and you'll
100%.
like it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree. And it's a skill. It's like you don't have to love doing something that is a skill that's useful to you.
Yeah, you got to do it. I
don't love working out, but you do it because it's good for you.
I hate working out, but I really want you to be. I worry about your safety.
Yeah,
the future's scary.
Well, we didn't talk about anything happy this episode. It was all intense stuff, but
that's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
is there a folly advice before we wrap it up or no?
Well, so I want to do a new thing, and I think will be fun, and so I'm going to announce it on here, and it'll be live by the time the episode comes.
How's our democracy of talking about it before you made a decision?
Oh, so we can run. I'll run it by you.
You could talk about it now.
It's just follow-the advice, but there's a new thing that that we can do where they can, instead of write in, they can talk in, and we can play their voice on that.
Love it. I think that's great.
Right. So it's going to be in the description of all the episodes. There's going to be a link that you can click the link, and just from your phone, you can record a voicemail to us.
Love it.
And we'll play it on the episode. So
they might not want it though, because no one knows, but someone locally might hear it.
But then they'll write in. You know, if they don't want their voice on, they'll write in. But I thought that would be a fun way that we can actually like hear you. It's just,
I like it.
So it'll be in the episode description. And if you guys don't know what fatherly advice is, if you have anything in your life that
you want an answer to,
a question, or you
ambivalent about something, you don't know what to do.
That you're in, you can write in.
You want an adult perspective, you want Bronson's perspective. This is what you do.
You can write in by the link in the description, or you can now speak in, and we'll listen to it. Me and you for the first time, we'll listen to it on the air with everyone, and then we'll give our thoughts. And I thought that, engage the audience a little more. So yeah, we'll do that. That'll start next week.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so we'll wrap it up. Are we going to do one or no?
No, I don't really have any. People have been writing in. So.
All right, well, we just got back into this. Bron, I love you. Everybody,
love you
peace out.
You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.